Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. I just have really one thing to say, and that is good luck, Florida. Good luck to all of the Florida colleges and universities as you go to try and recruit players, because it's going to be hard out there for you. It's going to be hard out there for you. And, I don't really know what to tell you. Right. I would love to, I would love to get political, but I'm not really like a get political kind of guy. The interesting part is that politics seem to find their way into places where we don't really need politics to be. And I'm not talking about activism, because there's a difference between politics and activism. So if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, you can see right here my apologies. You can see the bill that Governor Ron DeSantis has signed, or the bills that are going to bring major change. And I want to read it so that I don't misrepresent. This is from the Tampa Bay Times. If you don't know, the Tampa Bay Times, one of the most respected newspapers in the country. It says, Ron DeSantis on Monday signed 3 bills that will bring major changes to Florida colleges and universities, staging the moment at a school that has come to be the centerpiece of his campaign to remold higher education. During a ceremony at New College of Florida, he was flanked by supporters, including Christopher Rufo, an activist known for his opposition to critical race theory, and one of 6 trustees DeSantis appointed to the new college board in January. If you look at this picture right here, that hopefully you can see, it tells you everything that you need to know. There's no diversity here. There's no anything. It's just a bunch of white people, kind of all similar in their look, right? Maybe not that guy with just a white shirt with no tie on, and but there's another guy with a shirt on with no tie on. That's the younger them, right? So, and again, this isn't political. This is just how things are going to be, right? DeSantis signed SB 266, which restricts certain topics from being taught in general education courses, the lower level classes that all students must take for their degrees. It also expands the hiring and firing powers of university boards and presidents, limits protection for tenured faculty members, and prohibits spending related to diversity, equity, and inclusion programs beyond what is required by accreditors. I'm going to say that again. Limits protections for tenured faculty members and prohibits spending related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. In other words, it limits the ability for the colleges to reach out and and do things to have a diverse population. It limits the university's abilities to really have an equal education for everyone. It limits the university's capabilities to include those who may not normally get included in higher education. Regarding the restrictions, the restricted topics, the measure borrows language from last year's Individual Freedom Act, also known as the Stop Woke Act. It targets theories that systemic racism, sexism, oppression, and privilege are inherent in the institutions of the United States and were created to maintain social, political, and economic inequities. So, in other words, he wants to protect his own he wants to protect his own position because he's got a stranglehold on Florida. So why would I want all of this diversity and equity of people who may not vote for me when I can continue to just service the people who do? Remember, the college that he has made kind of his flagship college is a predominantly Republican college. While those ideas will be kept out of general education courses on Florida campuses, they could be allowed in higher level or elective courses, subject to review by the Board of Governors for universities or the State Board of Education for colleges. DeSantis also signed SB 240, which supports workforce education, and HB 931, prohibiting schools from requiring students and staff to fill out diversity statements, described as woke litmus test by the governor's office. Standing at the new College Visitor Center behind a lectern with the label Florida the Education State, I'm laughing. The governor mentioned a group of protesters outside the building who grew louder as he spoke. He joked that he was disappointed with the size of the protest and was hoping for more from the Sarasota school. Rufo, who has advised DeSantis on education policy and has been one of the new College Board's more outspoken members, was met by supporters who jostled to take photos with him as he left the event. Outside, about 50 protesters peppered him with insults, calling him a fascist before police officers escorted him away in a vehicle. It's a bad day for higher education, lamented new college alum Jono Miller, a former adjunct professor at the school, who spoke in an interview later. It's going to be so devastating for the whole university system. Amy Reed, a professor of French and director of New College's Gender Studies program, said the signing event was sprung on faculty without warning during finals week. She said she feared the legislation will amplify an already chilling climate on campuses across the state. What we know is that faculty are leaving Florida in droves, and universities throughout the system will have difficulty hiring and retaining qualified teachers in all fields, Reed said. Before signing the bills, DeSantis hailed the state's effort to bring more regulation to higher education. It's our view that when the taxpayers are funding these institutions, that we as Floridians and we as taxpayers have every right to insist that they are following a mission that is consistent with the best interest of our people in our state, said the governor, who is expected to soon mount a campaign for president in 2024. You don't just get to take taxpayer dollars and do whatever the heck you want to do and think that that's somehow okay. Referring to the Black Lives Matter movement, he called diversity, equity, and inclusion a relatively new concept that took off post-BLM rioting in 2020 and labeled it a veneer to impose an ideological agenda. It's better described as discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination, DeSantis said to Applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't read any more of this, but you see what it is, right? You can tell what I'm getting at. You Hey, good luck, Florida. Good luck, Florida State. Good luck to Florida A&M. Good luck to Bethune-Cookman. Good luck to USF. Good luck to UCF. Good luck to FAU, to FIU. Good luck to the public schools. All of the ones that I don't mention that all have athletics. Because right now, every single school that you recruit against is telling players, listen, you're the governor of this state, and by proxy, the people of this state, because they keep voting for this governor, they do not want you in their state. They are putting bills in place that restricts you female basketball players who have either played against or in fact are a part of the LGBTQ community, right? They're saying that they don't want you there. They're saying that they don't want you gentlemen that might be a part of the LGBTQ community there. They're saying that if you're black, don't even come here. We don't want you. We don't want you to learn about your culture. We don't want you to learn about how you've had to fight an uphill battle for equality. We're not going to have programs in place that expose you to things about your race and about your heritage that you would not have normally been exposed to, because most of the history and the culture that is taught is predominantly white. They're saying, hey, women, if you want to come here and get the same foot up as these white men have gotten all their life, this isn't the place for you. Good luck recruiting. Good luck recruiting outside of the state. Hey, you might still get people in the state that say, yeah, whatever, man, I live here. Cool. But getting those guys from outside of the state, oh, guess what you could also say goodbye to? Say goodbye to any events. Say goodbye to any events coming to your state. Any athletics events. You think these people want to sit here and have protesters and people who bring up the fact that this is what your state stands for? You better hope that Dana White loves y'all so much that they keep on giving you UFC fights every few months. You better pray that Dana White loves you so much that they keep giving you UFC fights every few months. But guess what? You've already pissed off, DeSantis has already pissed off Disney. So there's a good chance Disney could just pull the plug on having any of their events at any of these states anyway, because Disney, as in ESPN, is the one who really signs the check. So if ESPN doesn't want the UFC putting fights in Florida, guess what the UFC is not going to do? They're not putting fights in Florida. They're not going to spit in the face of their cash cow. That's not how they became billionaires. Good luck, Florida. Good luck getting high quality teachers that want to come when you can't find enough teachers now. You're having trouble filling high school classrooms now. You're having trouble finding enough people to come and teach in Florida right now. They'd rather go and teach in Georgia. They'd rather go and teach in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Places that they used to escape from to go to Florida for refuge are now places that they are flying to because they're paying better and they don't have to deal with this bull. They got to deal with a whole other set of BS, but they don't have to deal with this. And the crazy part about it is that this could be the president. This could be the president of the United States. You know what, Florida schools? That would be the best thing to happen to you. Because if he becomes the president, then he's going to implement this stuff in Florida everywhere. He's going to sign these bills into place everywhere. So now the playing field will be level again for you. But until then, have fun recruiting against Georgia. Have fun recruiting against Alabama, against Clemson. Notice I'm saying places that have issues. Places in states that have issues. And yet their issue isn't legislated through bills. And so now Florida has to find a way to fight. Florida State has to find a way to fight. HBCUs are going to have to figure out how to get this done. It's already an uphill battle for the HBCUs to get talent. Now they got to deal with fighting against their own governor. USF has been on hard times trying to recruit. You think you're going to keep that Tampa talent in town when they know how they've been treated? They're going to keep on going to Purdue and North Dakota State and South Carolina and every other place but South Florida. They're going to keep going into every other place but Central Florida. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad. And the ramifications will be felt in athletics immediately. It might not be felt in football because football players tend to put blinders on, right? They tend to put blinders on to certain things. When the whole Colin Kaepernick stuff went down, yeah, there were some people who took knees. There were some people who raised a fist. But as a collective, they didn't hold the line, or else major change would have happened. They're more powerful than they'll ever know, but they don't stand up the same way. The contracts aren't guaranteed. And so that line of thinking trickles down everywhere. But in basketball, men's and women's, in women's softball, hell, in all women's sports, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. These women are not playing games with y'all. You take away their rights, you limit their rights, you limit their ability to get ahead, to feel like they have an even playing field, and they will not screw with you. They will not play with you. They will not mess with you. They will cut you off. They will go other places. Florida ceasing to have women's athletics is not going to destroy women's athletics because they are not the gold standard in anything. None of those programs are. They're good. They have good programs. They don't have the gold standard in anything. And so now you're going to put these restrictions on them? Nah, they're not going for that, homie. It's a sad day to call yourself from Florida. It's a really sad day. Seems like he could just operate with impunity down there. No opposition. No real legit opposition. Mocking protesters. Mocking the protesters. Oh, I thought it would be more. I was hoping for more. This is a guy that does not care, and he is not here to fool with you. He is going to put his agenda out there, or the agenda of the people who get him paid, and that is it. He is a legitimate politician. This ain't Trump, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need to have personality. He doesn't need to have charisma because he knows politics and he knows how the politics work. And that is a dangerous proposition for all of those in Florida, especially if you're in an athletics program. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. Do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Till next time, peace.